honestly don't want to talk about the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2015 in full. When I went into the 2015 pay-per-view schedule and I looked at the pay-per-view names that WWE came up with, I saw pretty much all of the same, but I noticed a glaring difference, and that was Elimination Chamber was no longer on it. And I actually thought that, wow, good. I didn't want it to be a pay-per-view in the first place. Elimination Chamber needs to feel like a special attraction because it is the Elimination Chamber. It is a phenomenal concept. And saving it for a pay-per-view named after itself makes it lose its meaning and relevance. So I would like it if the Elimination Chamber match was reserved as a special attraction, and then Payback happened. And I got the announcement saying, oh, in 2 weeks, we're going to bring back the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Typical WWE. The Elimination Chamber needs to feel like a big attraction, so what better way to make it an attraction than to name a pay-per-view after it, knowing that you are going to get at least one, if not two, of those matches. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two, the fact that you only had 2 weeks to build up to the show. Now, I know that wasn't really WWE's plan because this was really a last-minute decision, but you only had 2 weeks to build up to a pay-per-view. Not a good thing. You know, it's bad enough now when you see pay-per-views like the Rumble in 2016 have 6 weeks to build up for it, and they only use 2 weeks to do it. That's ridiculous enough. This makes it even more ridiculous, the fact that they only had 2 weeks and they really only built up one match. And if you look at this pay-per-view, the build-up, mistake number two. If you look at this pay-per-view, you had 2 Elimination Chamber matches that were pretty lackluster. The first one was good. The first one was okay. Second one was pure shit. You had a really good match that I could have argued could have main evented the show, that was in the mid-card, and then you had a main event that was lackluster. It was pretty much a show that sucked the life out of me, sucked the life out of the fans in Corpus Christi, Texas that night, and a show that felt like another 3-hour episode of Raw. You opened up with the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match for the tag titles. Now, I applaud WWE for trying to do something a little bit different. And the match was fun, but it was not that good. I liked the idea of having the New Day use a modified version of the Freebird rule. I actually thought that worked. But this match was just okay. You know, it was a good concept. It was good for one reason, that it actually brought some purpose, meaning, and relevance to the tag titles, at least for that one night. The match was solid, but it was not that good, and I feel like we've seen tag matches like this on an episode of Raw. It's a Raw tag match, except you're doing 6 teams in a chamber. I applaud WWE once again for coming up with something new, but it just didn't work for me that well. Then you get to the triple threat between Nikki, Bella, Paige, and Naomi. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this match. It happened. At least Brie and Tamina were banned from ringside, so we at least had that problem out of the way. And I don't know what else to say about this match. It was what it was. Pretty much like every Divas match today is. And then you get to the one match on the card that I look back at this show and actually like and remember. It was Kevin Owens versus John Cena. One could argue, that this was the match of the year in 2015. The story leading up to it, even though it was only built up in 2 weeks, was good. The match itself was really good. Best work from both of them, in my opinion. And Kevin Owens went over clean. That's pretty much all I could ask for. My only gripe about this match is maybe they could have put one of the belts on the line, most likely the US belt. I really don't see Cena going after the NXT belt, but it would have been nice if they put the US belt on the line to give that belt a little bit of shine and meaning. but this match was otherwise perfect for the most part. They both mixed in some stuff that I really liked. Kevin Owens with the flip moonsault that I always thought was incredible. You had John Cena with the springboard stunner, which at first looked good, now it looks like shit. But you had John Cena do that the sunset flip powerbomb, a version of the Canadian Destroyer, but he did it in his way, and it actually looked really good. Looked unique. A lot of this match was unique. The crowd was dead the whole night. They were alive for this match. So otherwise, it was a perfect match. Other than the one glaring thing that I had of maybe putting the U.S. belt on the line. Maybe that could have sealed the deal for me. But I was glad that this match happened. Kevin Owens went over clean, and I could remember this match more easily than I can remember their next match and the match after that where Kevin Owens did not win. Then we get Neville versus Bo Dallas. What astounds me about this match is the fact that it almost went 10 minutes. I don't care about this match. Okay, Neville wins, yay. They're still both irrelevant to this day in 2016. Then you have the IC Championship Chamber match. Again, I applaud WWE for trying to bring some relevance back to the IC title, but this match absolutely sucked. There was little to no utilization of the cage, and I could argue that all of these superstars deserve this spot, but just because they deserve this spot doesn't exactly mean it's a good thing. You have Ryback wrestling and winning a meaningless championship. You have Dolph Ziggler once again in the same spot. You have King Barrett once again in the same spot. You have Sheamus trying to build him up as a top heel going after this meaningless championship. For whatever reason, you threw R-Truth in there, and then you have Mark Henry, who's basically going to be the pin monkey. It was a stupid match. It was a terrible match. And in a chamber match, it shouldn't be a terrible match. This match should be the match that brings the house down, and it didn't. Not even close. And then you get the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, and if Roman Reigns interfered, then Ambrose would have been DQ'd. Was the match bad? No. But, I had no doubts in my mind that there was going to be some shenanigans in the end, and my expectations were met. And just because my expectations were met doesn't exactly make it a good thing. Yeah, Dean Ambrose wins via disqualification, via not interference. It was Rollins' foot on the rope or something like that. Or was he disqualified? He was disqualified, I know that. I honestly don't even remember the ending. That's how poor this whole show was, that I have to actually look up what the ending was. Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins should be one of those matches that has a big match feel to it, because like it or not, these two guys are part of what your future is. And here, it's a disappointing match. Their match at Money in the Bank, and I'll talk about that, and I talked about that, in my Money in the Bank review. This match was not good. For two guys that had such good chemistry back in 2014, where was that same spark in 2015? It was a poor ending to a poor show. John Cena versus Kevin Owens was awesome. The tag chamber match was okay. A match that shouldn't be just okay, should be great. IC Championship chamber match, should be good, was terrible. Meaningless Divas match, meaningless low card match. Stupid show. Bad show. Typical WWE.